1,000 videos to help you learn. And today, during this long, arduous morning drive that really should be about 15 minutes, but so far I've been on the road for 15 minutes and I'm hardly anywhere past my house. But I was just sitting here thinking about the next series of videos. It's getting pretty close to that time again to do a roundup. A lot of tools have come out, and we have a lot of great clippers, a lot of great trimmers, and a lot of great shavers. So I thought maybe you guys could help me to decide what the best of each one is, and we'll let some people get up in the room, and then we're gonna get started. Because man, if I gotta pick the best clipper right now, there are quite a few that come to mind. And there are days where I use one, I use the next one, and then I'm like, you know what, maybe it's this one, maybe it's this one, maybe it's this one. What up, Anthony? What up, Neil? Appreciate you guys jumping in here. Good morning. We've stopped at this light, I think 4 times so far, and we're not even near it yet. So smash the thumbs up when we talk about this. All right, so right off the rip, best clippers that are in the industry currently at the moment. And I'm just going to name them all, and I'm not saying the best, but I'm saying the best clippers that are in the industry currently at the moment. The Sabre 2.0, the 360 Jeezy, the Metal Instinct, the Tomb 45 clipper. You could throw in like a Babeless FX clipper, maybe their Low Pro clipper if you prefer that. Don't know if Vapor necessarily makes it for sure. Would you guys put Vapor in the top? I mean, it's got to be in the video. That is true. It's got to be part of the video. The Vapor has to be part of the video. But in my mind, does the Vapor really stack up against some of the ones I just named? Most of those have nearly double the runtime, USB-C charging, other features that make it kind of more attractive. The Vapor does not have a clicking lever even. I mean, even some of the basic stuff that people are enjoying. I mean, let's not underestimate the power of the click lever. For me, I've been cutting hair since 2003. I think it's a fantastic thing. I use it. It keeps me organized. I like the click lever. I actually think when it comes to teaching, that's probably one of the best times to have it, because so many people are like, yo, I'm trying to follow what you're doing. I'm having trouble keeping up. But when I'm saying, like, literally I move the lever 1 click. I move it 2 clicks. That's pretty simple stuff, you know? He said Vapor is his main, and it overtook the Gamma. I don't know what Gamma clipper you're talking about that it overtook, but I don't see how it could have overtook the Stylecraft Sabre or even the Tomb 45 clipper. I mean, there's, or the Jeezy or the Metal Instinct. There's just simply no way to put it. I mean, those have stronger motors, double the runtime, more features. I understand the Vapor is a good budget clipper. That's basically what it was. It was a good budget clipper, and it was sold at a nice low price point. Good morning, Rizzy. Cut up. But all the same, Deluxe, thank you, man, for jumping in here. Harishu from India, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Gamma Boosted, yes. I could see how you would say that it compares with the Gamma Boosted. But let's not forget, the Gamma Boosted's been out for 3 years. It probably could be a little bit longer. Could be 3 years. There's a lot of stuff coming up that I can't really say too much about. But let's just say Stylecraft is not really resting on their laurels here. There is some improvements coming down the pipe to a couple of things, such as different vector motor technology and things like that. So kind of interesting. I had always kind of thought that vector motor was such a great idea, the fact that it speeds up. But there's so many times where even the lower speed setting still seems to be a little bit too powerful. So we'll get to that. But if I had to crown my favorite clipper out of all those I just named, we got a bunch of people in the room. Cyborg's a good clipper. Cyborg's a really good clipper. A lot of people like the Cyborg. It's just a little too heavy. I think if that clipper had been a little lighter, it would have been a really good seller. But not everybody's, swole, so they can't lift it up. But honestly, having a heavier clipper is not a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a good thing because it steadies your hand out. If your hand is shaky, it can be easier to do like fine details. But by and large, when there's a all day kind of cut, a lot of people like it a little bit lower. So anyways, Cyborg could be reasonably put in there. 6 hours of runtime, brushless motor. It was one of Gamma's first brushless motors. The one that I'm picking up every day right now, and I'm saying right now because it is a day by day kind of thing. What are you picking up every day? All right. I didn't even see the Bills pick last night. Who did they pick? I got involved watching that Chris Kyle story, the American Sniper, and I couldn't. I couldn't even, I've watched the movie, but it's been a long, long time. I mean, he died in like 2013, but what a sad story. I had tears rolling down my eyes the whole time. It was terrible. I forgot all about the draft, which was also terrible. And then, it's just, but what clipper are you picking up the most right now? If you're in rotation, what is the most heavy in rotation right now? And I'll move on to the trimmers as I see your comments here. So in the world of trimmers, and it's just released the Phenom, which I'm working on that video and I'll bring you guys the full review, but it's a budget trimmer. It's not going to blow anybody's mind. I think everybody's going to see that as kind of like a subpar clipper or subpar trimmer, but for a budget option, it's actually pretty decent. So they got a new trimmer. Now you got Cocco trimmers. People seem to really like those. And, for a really sharp, digitally zero gap trimmer, which means nothing to me. I mean, just being perfectly honest, digital zero gap means absolutely nothing. It means that people in the factory are going to preset the blade, and there's a pretty good chance that you're going to wind up resetting it anyways, like I did. So take it for what you will. A wall finale shaver? You're still using a wall finale? We're going to get to the shavers here in a few minutes, guys. But there really is only one shaver. Look at how funny this is. Did you see that lady with the cigarette out the window? She don't want the cigarette in her car. She hasn't heard it's bad for you. So she's got the cigarette way out the window and she wants to just keep smoking. I don't get it, man. I mean, you would think that people would catch on by now. Okay, so also in the world of trimmers, Instinct, whether you got OG Instinct, Instinct Metal, Saber. Oh, here we go. Here's the crash that's caused all this. How in the fuck did they get on the other side of the railing? Yo, my man is in pajamas. How? How did this happen? You can't park over there. What are they going to do to get it back? He must have rolled over top of that railing. I've never seen anybody on that side of Immokalee Road, on that side of the street. There's nothing but a canal here. I wonder if there was another car in the canal. The funny thing is, it's not even in the road and it's holding up traffic. All right, back to the shit. All right, thank you, bro. Appreciate the donation, man. Thank you so much. I just seen it. Kermit, you the man. If you want to shout out anything, I'll shout it out for you. All right. So, anyways, back to the trimmers. So you also have the Gold FX. Always will be a good trimmer. You could say any of the removable battery ones, which, they all perform decent, but I actually don't really love the idea of removing batteries. I like it in one sense, and if they would have put a USB-C charging port on the battery or on the unit itself, I would have liked it a lot more. But I don't like the fact that you got to travel with a big brick to plug it into, and I don't like the fact that if it dies, you can't use it as a pass-through. Most of these trimmers on this list, you can plug in and use it plugged in if you have to. And that shit does happen. I mean, especially for me, I cut hair only 3 days a week. I don't leave my stuff plugged in. When it dies, it dies. So, you know, that's the way I look at it. Now, what other trimmer am I missing? I named Cocco, Andis, Babyliss, the Saber. The Saber probably on that list of all of those. The Saber has 4 hours of runtime. The Gold X Pro blade, it's super quiet. It stays that way, which kind of the nicest, one of the nicer features. Like if you think about the Babyliss blades, they've always been nice blades. They do nice work, but they don't stay quiet for very long. And you know, after a while, you got a couple that look, you know, sound like a chainsaw. Now the FX3 was a good trimmer. That was kind of way before its time too, in a way. But that's a little bit of a different style of blade. That one also does get loud, but you can find that one sometimes for like $100. It also has 4 hours of runtime and relatively low profile, kind of similar to the one that kind of started this all, which would be the Andis Slimline Pro. Oh, the High-Vis. Yeah, I totally forgot about the High-Vis. Now, the High-Vis, if I was to speak about the High-Vis, I'd say it's just a very ergonomic trimmer. There's a lot of ways that when you're working with it, you can kind of see what they intended. You know, they got flat spots in places that make sense. Overall, it's a very comfortable trimmer, premium feel, metal body. But the blade that they went with makes sharp lines, but it doesn't remove much bulk. And, you know, I've been involved in the production of a lot of these things, and I know some of that might make sense. Some of you seasoned barbers out here, it makes sense to you to use a trimmer for a liner. It makes sense to me too. Like, oh, I'll make really sharp lines with this one. I'll remove bulk with like the Instinct or something else, right? That makes a lot of sense to me to do something like that. But as I help with some of these things and test stuff for Stylecraft, I learned one thing. When barbers get it, they want to use it for everything. And a perfect example is the blade that used to come on a Rebel trimmer. An excellent little trimmer, by the way. Super low cost, low profile. We decided to use a different type of blade that made really sharp lines, but it was not good for removing bulk. And it kind of ruined that trimmer. I bet you many of you guys would never even give it a chance, even though now it has the X Pro and it cuts excellent. But the thing about it is barbers are not really usually going to use a trimmer for just one thing. They're going to use it for everything. So I know it does make sense to use it as a liner. So if you got a wall detailer or a High-Vis, I should say a High-Vis, because the detailer has no problem removing bulk. And for me, if I'm comparing the detailer to the High-Vis, I like the shape of the High-Vis, I like the feel of the High-Vis, I like the tech in the High-Vis, but I still like the detailer more. It makes sharp lines and it removes bulk. What more do you want? So that's, you know, it would be hard for me to name that as number one just due to the lack of versatility. So what's your favorite trimmer right now? Drop it in the comments. I'll read that in a second. Let's move on to some of the shavers. Now, I could talk a lot about a lot of different shavers, but I'm gonna cut right to the chase, and let's see if you guys can name them. There's really only 2, maybe 3 that are even worth looking at in 2025. There's only 2 or 3. The rest would just be fluff for a video, because the reality is nothing can compare to these 2 or 3. So I'm not sure if you guys could name them, but I'm checking out Kurt. He says the Instinct. All right, well, let's see here. Carlos, the Instinct X can do it all. He's absolutely right. It can remove all the bulk. That's a trimmer for those of you guys who might not know. That's a trimmer. FX1 shaver and Instinct trimmer. Kurt knows what's up. Master Creeper, Instinct metal shaver. You guys know what's up. So a while back when the Instinct shaver came out, let's set the scene for a second. Babyliss, when Stylecraft started making things, right? Babyliss was the king of innovation at the time, I think, personally. I think they were making some pretty interesting clippers. And they definitely had the Gold FX trimmer, which had the game locked up for a long time. Nobody really wanted to use anything other than that once that came out. And they always had great shavers, and they beat all the other shavers in the market. I remember when the UV shaver, the FX3 shaver, these were some great machines for the time. I mean, man, were they good. And they were low cost too, comparatively to except for the UV was kind of expensive. But Babyliss had a strong hold on all three: the clipper, the trimmer, and the shaver. Many of you guys started admitting, you know what, man, Stylecraft has some better clippers. I like the Stylecraft clippers. They like the innovation. They like the extra stuff in the box. There was a reason why Stylecraft exists. And then I used to hear, well, you know, you guys got some great clippers, but you just still need a trimmer. Now with the Saber 2, I mean, with the Saber coming out, a lot of people would say, gun for gun, that the performance is very close. And I actually personally think the Saber's better because it's quieter and it has more runtime. But on a performance standpoint, there's really no Babyliss trimmer that's you can sit here with a straight face and say that's actually better than the Saber or the Instinct. There's not one. So between those two, people started saying, well, now you guys got a good trimmer and you got a good clipper, but Babyliss still is kind of beating you with the shavers, which was true, which was very true. So now the shaver starts coming out. We had the Rebel, we had the Protege. That was the first ever wireless charging, first and last, because turns out nobody really cared about the fact it was wireless charging. He said, I'm using the Tomb 45 trimmer to be more gentle in beards and lineup. The MIM blade is kind of softer than the other ones, and it doesn't get hot ever. I agree with that. It's definitely, it's definitely a unique thing, and it's a good cutting blade. There's no doubt about that. So now, when I come out and I tell you guys, the Instinct shaver, it is the end-all be-all shaver. There is no better shaver than the Instinct shaver. A lot of you guys were like, oh, he's just a Stylecraft fanboy, which I am. I'm literally wearing the hat. I'm sponsored by them. I love them. And if you knew what I knew about them and all the stuff they've done for people in our industry or just people in general, paying off barber tuition for people in need, I mean, the list goes on and on for reasons why I love this company so much. But of course, I come out and try to tell everybody this is the best shaver you're going to find. And when I do, a lot of people are kind of kicking back saying, no, Babyliss got you beat. But they never even gave it a try. We've had a cop behind us for like 20 minutes. He left my neighborhood with me. I don't know if he remembers that, but he's getting awfully close. But this is the thing, guys. If the cop follows me for like, I don't know how many miles it is or whatever, but he's been following me for at least the last 10 miles. You know, a cop's not supposed to pull you over when they follow you for that long. Can be seen as, just looking for something wrong you did. But anyways, when you use the Instinct shaver too, there's another factor in play here when you use the Instinct shaver. And that factor is you don't use it the way you use normal ones. Normal ones, you used to take it, kind of let them bog down, and then you'd take another stroke, right? That's how you would use a normal shaver. With the Instinct motor, it needs to feel resistance before it speeds up. So what you actually do with that is you push it into the head and you lift it and you force that motor to speed up. And that's when you're gonna see it hits that next gear and that hair is coming off of that head quick. Those are forged cutters. They're extremely, extremely sharp cutters, but they won't last as long as some of the other ones. So there's a give and take that all companies make when they create cutters, right? They look at the cutter and they say, okay, we can make it not as sharp but last longer because we use a harder metal, or we can use a softer metal, make it twice as sharp and it won't last as long. That's the choice that they make. So that's what Stylecraft Instinct decided to do. They wanted to give you the most performance you could possibly have. So the only other shaver that is really in the realm would be the FX barbell shaver. And don't get me wrong, guys, that is a great shaver. There's no doubt about it that that's a great shaver, but it's a rotary motor shaver. Let's see if I can slow down. You can see this cop. He stayed in this right lane. Looks like we're never gonna see him again. We took off on his ass. See ya. So, anyways, the only other shaver would be the FX barbell shaver. I think that shaver is a really nice shaver. And, you know, for those of you guys who are going to probably put in the comments, which I haven't looked in a second, wait till we get to the next light. I got you guys situated in a place where I'm trying to not look too much just yet. But the FX shaver, a lot of you guys are going to say it's got a massive offset, which makes it easier to isolate one blade and all this other stuff. Actually, when you put it next to some of the other shavers, it's exactly the same. It just feels that way because of the barbell grip. But admittedly, it's definitely nice to be able to isolate one blade. How many of you guys are using a single foil shaver, just out of curiosity? Oh, good morning, Nana. She's in the house. Carlos says, I've been wanting to change my metal UV Babyliss shaver, been wanting to get the Instinct shaver. I would tell you guys this. If there's anything that you want to buy right now, I would probably do it, because with this trade war, I'm really in on the ground floor here. I've been studying this like literally every day. I've been looking at something or another about this, and it's probably going to get worse before it gets better, guys. I mean, China's trying to play hardball, and so is Trump, and things are going to be a rocky road for a while. And just so you know, Andis, Wall Vapors, many of the other companies, Stylecraft, all of these people are going to wind up raising their prices. I got price sheets coming in from just about everybody right now, and they're going to do a lot of things that are going to cause the prices of many of these things to go up. So if you're lucky enough to find them now at a reasonable price, whatever the price is today, in 1 month's time, 2 months' time, mark my words, they're going to go up higher. You know, that's neither here nor there. I'm just giving you guys some personal advice. I really don't, you know, if you decide to buy it or not, I'm just telling you right now that inventory for blades, for machines, for accessories, for many of the things that come from China is going to start to dwindle. And when it dwindles, the price is going to be forced to go up. So the Instinct shaver, if you can find one right now, I'm not sure how many more are left in stock, or if there is any left in stock. But if there is, definitely a good purchase. So we go to the Babyliss barbell shaver. It's also a great shaver with a really sharp blade. And overall, it cuts very good. And I don't think anybody who has it is going to feel it's some kind of disappointment. I think it's the best one that Babyliss made. And then the other side of the spectrum would be like the budget options. And for the budget options, the FX3 shaver, very hard shaver to beat. The Rebel shaver, also a very hard shaver to beat, especially now that they've increased their runtime and added USB-C charging. Deluxe says, Lux says, to be honest, this whole price thing, which barber tools shouldn't be affecting your purchase. Barbers make their money back on the machines 100-fold regardless. You're absolutely right. And I do think that, like, look at this, guys. If we want to buy machines and they cost an extra $10 or $15 because of this trade war, would you do it just out of curiosity? Like, would you spend an extra $15? For me, it's kind of like, yeah, it sucks to spend an extra $15, but at the end of the day, Deluxe is right. The first customer I'm going to cut at the shop, I'm going to charge them $50. And they'll probably give me 60 or 70. So, you know, it's kind of like, we were never charging this kind of money before. By the way, guys, I only charge $35. I charge $50 if you get a transformation. You guys can check out my booked in app. That's exactly how I have my prices set. $35 is a regular fade. $50 is a transformational cut. If you want your beard done as well, I'll do it for $45. Like, I'm not one of these barbers who are like, I charge $100 a cut, $200 a cut, $5,000 a cut. You don't have to do that to make money. You can make great money. But it's all besides the point. The fact is, even me charging less than what people would have to believe is the national average. This is one of the richest towns in the whole country, Naples, Florida is. And I still don't charge that much money. And we're still making money out here. So I'm just saying, you don't have to be crazy, but at the end of the day, we're making enough money to afford these machines. And when you get things that are quality, it's going to last a long time, then, you know, it's not really that big of a deal. It's like if I was working in construction or a mechanic and I buy all my stuff from Temu and it keeps breaking, wouldn't I go and buy a better drill? Wouldn't I go and buy some better tools? Of course you would. Imagine how much worse it would be, really. Let's say you're in carpentry. You guys can get by. All right, you guys can get by with a clipper, a trimmer, and a shaver, some scissors, and a handful of accessories, right? That's what you really need to do this job. Imagine if you were in construction. I tell you what, man, you would have a toolbox, and it would be full of shit, and it would keep costing you money every time you turned around. You break a measuring tape, or a hammerhead would fly off, or you'd need something, or you need this, or you need that. And you know what's kind of funny, guys? There was a massage parlor. I'm gonna show it to you guys. This is kind of funny. All right, ready? That's the massage parlor, y'all. And you know what people was down there? Check this out. This is kind of funny. Speaking of China, this is one of them Chinese gadgets. Oh shit! But this thing is an electric suction cup. It's kind of wild, but it turns on and off. It stayed charged since I got it. I've never charged this thing once. But all right, so you know how the massage parlors be getting down sometimes. I kid you not, man. These people that were in here, they were weird, man. They were real weird, and they were doing weird. A couple of times I seen them take a shopping cart, go down there. What's up, Daddy? I seen them take a shopping cart, go down there. They fill that bitch up right to the top, right? And then they walk it in the massage parlor and kept it in there. They kept they kept that shopping cart from Sam's Club, which I thought was weird. Well, a little while later, they did a county-wide bust, and they took all them guys, I should be girls, they took all them looking Asian women that were doing some kind of weird shit. They took them straight to jail. What's up, dude? What's up, brother? Shoot. And we're here, guys. We got something new on the desk to look at. Let me open it up. And I don't know if I'm allowed to show you one of the machines that are on here. My shit is a mess. I'm glad I'm here early. I got like an hour to clean up my shit. All right, let's see what's in here. And if I'm allowed to show it to you, I will. I get a lot of stuff to test. He said $15 to $20 extra for a tool. Not all that bad. It's not going to make a huge difference. Australia prices are high already, and they've been paying extra. Yeah, that's true. I don't know what's with that. No, I definitely can't show you these. These are some tester units. So basically what we do all the time, they send me machines that we've developed, things that we've done, and we try to test them out, see if they're any good, if they're good, if they need improvements, if whatever. And, you know, that's basically how that whole thing goes. I was back here filming the other day, but man, this place is a mess. We have so many units to go through. These are the new Andis, the Phenoms. Phenom trimmer. I think the members have access to, I actually have a high-vis here. It's actually in the box. I never even pulled it out yet. Saber 2. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff we got to get through here. But it feels like there's just never enough time to keep going through all of this stuff. But anyhow, I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me on the morning drive. I'm going to start getting my station cleaned up, get ready for the day. Hope you guys kill it this Friday. And we got a couple of videos we just released for the members. So I hope you guys check those out. If you are a member, If not, they will be available. They're just coming out every Monday at 2 o'clock like normal. And I'll catch you guys.
Yo, good evening.
Said Saber 2 or 360 Jeezy. If you ask me right now, I'll say Saber 2.
I'm gonna say it's tall.
Saber 2, man, this is a machine that I just can't really I just don't want to put down.
What, they send you some?
Get your mooching ass. Look at this guy. Hey, did you buy this?
I smell it. I smell it.
Did you buy that?
I smell it.
Did you buy that? Did you buy that? What about that one?
I got that from working.
You sat in the chair and got a haircut for that one.
Sometimes
You see how it is?
that's how
Everything
life
on his
goes,
station.
baby.
Wait,
You
let's
take-
see.
You take the dice how they
Look at
come.
Kenny, too. He uses the cyborg. I love that trimmer, by the way. Instincts, Rebels. And then he's got my Saber 2.
Oh, you got some new shade?
There's also one here. I probably shouldn't show you. So everybody over here is working with that Stylecraft stuff. But all right, you guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.